I'm going to wait and let it get started up first. Make sure we're live with a testing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think we're live. I'm back with another video. Back with another video. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Coming at you real quick with another live conference. I don't know if this one is really a conference. It's more like an interview. I got my ultimate Loc Crush in the building. I had to hunt her down. I caught her, I got her, and I'm so excited to have her here tonight. She's going to talk about her lock story, from being a consumer to a consultant and building her channel. I'm not sure how the video quality is looking right now because my camera looks clear, but I'm not sure. So please let me know down in the comments. Also, I'm sorry that we was a few minutes late. I was trying to get it together. Okay? So I just want to ask her one main question. Sis, where you been? Where have you been?
Okay. Where have I been? All right. I have my channel. I went on a little hiatus. It just went beyond hiatus. Let's just put it that way. I went off my channel. I said I'd be back. And then I was having little funny feelings about my channel at first. It was like, okay, I'm starting to feel obligated. And that's interesting because it's my channel. I shouldn't feel obligated, or I shouldn't feel bored, or I shouldn't feel as if I'm not putting out quote unquote creative works. So what happened, I started to feel guilty. This is when I took my little hiatus. I said, okay, I'm just going to take a break. I need to not feel guilty. Why did I feel guilty? Because I was just spitting out videos. It was like if I was trying to catch up. So what would happen, a typical week would be, okay, I got to do a video this weekend. What do I think somebody wants to know about SisterLocks? Okay, well, I'll spit that out and just keep it moving. It was not exciting. It was not interesting to me anymore. So then I was like, okay. But no, you still have to keep turning out videos because you have to be consistent. I think I was pretty much consistent for a year, and then the zest left. Then I was a trainee. Then I became a consultant, and then the workload picked up. So it was like if I was on hiatus for like a month or 2 or 3, and then at the very end of that hiatus, work picked up. So then when work picked up, I was like, wait a minute, I could really push this business. So then it became a thing of, okay, how quick can I get? How proficient can I get? How many people I can get in and out? And I just started working like a mad dog. The next thing you know, I turned around and it's like, what, a year and a half later? And here I am. To be honest, most people, when they contact me through YouTube, they text. You called me. And it's funny because normally I don't answer my phone straight out. I let it go to voicemail and I scream. But something said, pick up the phone. And here we are. Hello.
So
Okay.
I'm turned upside
Yes,
down.
you are.
Hold
Because
on.
my head just tilted. I was like,
So
it left the
this
call. I
is
was
why
like,
it's
ugh.
live, because it's real. I mean,
Yep,
it's gonna be
it happened.
mistakes and
Yep,
all. You know,
yep.
that's the process of learning to in life.
Yep, yep. I agree.
So yeah, but you know, it's been a struggle for me, honey. But we gonna make it through. We gonna make it through. The most struggle right now that I'm having, I'm kind of like a little bit salty about. It's
Okay.
all ready to be getting bad. I'm gonna keep it real.
Okay.
I'm using my camera on my phone, and it's perfectly clear.
Mm-hmm.
But my laptop is fuzzy, and you see this fuzzy picture after I done came all the way over here, 15 minutes away from my house, to make this live bomb. But that's okay. We're gonna woo side out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go. Let it go. Okay. So let's talk about your hair because I love, love, love your hair. And what length it is at right now. Can you talk about that?
Okay. I usually keep it at a specific length. I have been locked. May will make, wait a minute, May's around the corner. May would make 17 years. After you hit like 9 or 10 years, your hair is going to hit your bum. And then after that, it depends on how long you want it to grow. I was trimming it every 8 to 12 weeks consistently. For the past year, I just keep it wrapped up. And it's grown considerably, but I will be getting a more of a major cut, just layered, just layered. So my hair, my longest strands are reaching to my knees. I don't wear my hair down often or at all. The longer it gets, it starts to tangle like spaghetti and it gets caught in things. And so you use the bathroom, you get up, you pull up your pants, you find your hair is tucked in crevices. That's not appropriate. You don't want any bodily fluids on your hair. You cook, it's hanging down, it can get into the fire on the stove. You walk through a doorway, it can get trapped on the side of, you know, the little latch thing where the latch goes into the door, that can get caught. You drive, it spills down into the console area. I know a lot of people like long hair. And because we are a ethnic group of people where we're used to seeing other ethnicities have long flowing hair, we can become obsessed with long locks. And then it's a thing of, why don't you always wear your hair down? Why don't you this? Why don't you that? And then it's like, dude, after your 10-year or 9-year mark, you get over it. So it's not a, oh, I gotta wear my hair down all the time. But I digress. You asked me. The longest length is there at my knees. And that's only because I stopped clipping it about a year ago. But it's going to get a major clip. Give me about 2 months. You'll see it. Major clip.
Wow. Okay, what you mean by major? How major?
Let's see. If it's, you can't see me. If it's to my knee, I think major is like to like my waist area. And I'll keep the length, some of the length in the back. But to my waist area or even shorter. I think here's a nice length and then have it go down into a V. That seems like a nice length.
Okay, okay. I'm just gonna get off. Hold on. Let me switch this up real quick.
You good. Mm-hmm.
Take this off.
I can't hear. I can't hear you. Okay, there you go.
Can you talk about your installation process?
Okay, there you go. Because you disappeared. You just went out. Now, what did you say?
I was just wondering your length at installation and the process of your installation. How did it go? How long did your installation last?
Okay, my installation was painful and I hated it. Let's put it that way. Number one, at the time when I got my SisterLocks, there weren't that many people who knew about it, or a lot of people didn't know how to handle black hair. Period. Even though you had books out, people. I'm gonna say people who started doing the SisterLocks back then, they did it as a thing of, okay, here's a natural hair care regimen. It's a system. I like SisterLocks, but they still did not know how to handle black hair. When I went in, I had about 4 inches of hair, and to put it in, I went in there with my hair washed. It was not stretched. It was picked out, but when humidity hits it, it shrinks. And that lady, it hurt. That lady tore into my head. She didn't know how to handle. She was combing it from the base and pulling up, so you know there was tangling, and it was very painful. And my hair was bone dry. On top of that, my installation, I think we spent about I think it was like about like 14 hours one day, and then it was about between 28 to like 30 hours to put my locks in. And my lock count at that time was like 398.
And what's your lock count now?
Around like are 440. 440. Sometimes I combine, sometimes it depends. If I have any hairs that are struggling, I combine them now. I don't really fuss too much.
Okay. And this is how you typically wear your hair?
No. I typically wear it piled up on top of my head. It doesn't look as neat as this, and wear a wrap around it. That's usually how I wrap. That's usually how I do my hair. It's only like special occasions I will like do it up. But yes, that's another reason I need a cut, because the hair, as it hits certain lengths, it starts to behave differently. The longer it gets, especially if you have the more smaller ones, they tangle a lot. I find that the largest sister locks has more body and mass, so they don't tangle as much as like the spaghetti-like ones. What else have I noticed? My hair is drier the longer it gets. Also, the tension on the hair is different. As the hair gets longer, it's just natural tension that runs throughout the lock. People say, okay, you have sister locks, so it's not as heavy as traditional locks. That is true in a sense, but there's still weight your hair is carrying. And if you're not careful, it can still pull out your hairline just due to the natural weight. You know, some people will argue, some people have stronger hair than others. Everybody's different. I went somewhere. Where was I again? And I saw this woman who has sister locks, and it was past her knees, her ankles or her calves, and about this much of the hairline was gone. But she was happy to have her sister lock. I don't know what to tell you. Everybody has a different preference or hair length goals.
When did you become a consultant, and why did you decide to become a consultant? Because and do you have some tips for people that are wondering if they should become a consultant or not?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I took the training in 2013. I basically did the retightening. I was retightening my own hair for roughly 10 and a half years before I went to become a consultant. That was not my aim in the very beginning, because I thought it's a very strong, long learning curve. So I said I would not be doing that. That is not going to happen here. But then I wanted a side business that I can control my income coming in first before anybody got to it. Hint, hint. And then I said, okay, so I need to have a side business. And people were saying, oh, well, you know, you're a walking example of your hair. You should do sister locks. So I was like, you know what? I already have some skill. Since I'm retightening my hair, let me go and take the class. That's what inspired me. I took the class. Okay, the class teaches you. People think when they pay their money to take the class that they're automatically a consultant. No, you are not. You are just getting the training. It's just like getting a college degree. You spend your money and you go to school and you get a degree. It does not guarantee that you will be rich, successful, or have employment. You have to go and do the work and become employed. It's the same thing with sister locks. You take the class. You are not an automatic consultant. You're a trainee, and then you have to prove yourself, and you're going to have to learn to market. That's a thing that people are kind of shocked at when they go in. It's like, oh, I paid the money. Oh, I'm a trainee. Yes, you're a trainee. They think they're going to be a consultant, but they're a trainee. So then they have to put in the work to become licensed or have a certificate, and you have to find heads. How do you find heads? You run a business, you have to pay attention to the marketing. And that can be very tricky, because I tried standard marketing. I put up pictures like the picture that you used for this channel. I used that picture. I put it on Craigslist. I printed up business cards. I would say, hey, do you want your hair to look like this? And, you know, and stuff like that. And nobody was studying me. Nobody cared. They're like, oh, okay, really? Then I would go to hair shows. And then people would say to me, oh, I like your hair. Who does your hair? I'm like, okay, well, I do it. Oh, okay, that's cool. How long you been doing it? I said, okay, it's like about 10 and a half years. Okay, that's cool. You got your certificate? Are you a consultant or a trainee? I'm a trainee. Oh, okay. Goodbye. That was just the attitude. Because you have people who are sticklers. You have people who are like, I want the certification. I'm not studying the skill. And then you have some people who look at you and they'll say, yo, if you did that to your hair, I don't care what certificate you have or not, I want you to do my hair. So you meet different kinds of people. I ended up getting most of my clients through YouTube. I got referrals. And then when some consultants left or went out of town, because I had 2 consultants leave in the area and they referred out, then their clientele moved over to me. So today, currently, I get most of my advertisement from YouTube and the Sister Lock channel. They go to the channel, the Sister Lock website. They'll go to the website. They'll say, oh, she has a YouTube channel, and then they'll check me out, and word of mouth. I'm not hearing you. I can't hear. Can't hear. I think oh, there you go. You came back in.
Okay, I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Was it for that whole time?
Yes, I was like this. I was like, I can't hear. Okay. I was just about to okay.
I'm so glad I looked down at the comments because I was like, wait a minute, I see I can't hear from Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Erica, y'all. Bear with me. Come on now. Okay, no, but the reason why I really wanted to meet you and talk to you is because I love your energy, and I felt motivated by you by watching your channel to make my own channel. I also adore your hair, and your lot goes all the way. It was so funny because when I called you, there was the 3rd time I called you. Actually, you answered, and I was just laying down. I'm like, she's not gonna answer. I'm just laying down. Then you answered. I was like, oh my god, hold on. I got up. I was like, oh my god, yes. And then you was like, hello, hello. I was all scared at first. But throughout talking to you and hearing your story, just regular conversation between you and I, it's been wonderful. I really, really love that about you.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a few more questions, and I'm going to get some questions off the live from people. So have you ever colored your hair, or did you talk about the reason why you got Sister Locks
No.
versus any other locks? Or
okay, the reason why I got Sister Locks, I went through a series of you're gonna get the long drawn out. How much time we have? It's on you. You can run this. However, I know people may have stuff to do later, but
long drawn out.
Yo, when I talk about a struggle, okay, everything about me is either emotional. It's emotional because I like to sense things like, how do I feel in response to what's happening around me? And I'm sensitive to that. I don't always listen to it, but I'm very sensitive. I like to say I'm mochalicious. I am a mochalicious sister. And I grew up with images of women who had straight hair, wavy hair. They weren't the kinky, coily type hair. Okay. So you saw in the magazines, and so I relaxed my hair. That was just the end thing. But I always felt like I was doing something to myself because I was relaxing it. Not something like, oh, cancer or anything of that nature. It was like, I don't like me. I mean, my hair, I can't be pretty. I have to have straight hair in order to be pretty. And see, I would grow my hair out. I'd wear braids. Growing out, it'll grow long. But I realized it was growing long because I just wasn't messing with it much. And then I would slap a relaxer back into it. And then as time went on, I started weaving and I started wearing braids. And it got to a point where I couldn't, every time I turned around, I kept slapping stuff in my hair in order to be presentable, in order to be attractive. And that started to bug me. At the time, so many people, they do that. It's like, okay, it don't matter. I'll just keep putting this on and keep doing this. But I was doing that way before it became popular, mainstream. And I just felt bad about it. So then what I did was shaved my hair. I wore that shave for 6 years, and it was a buzz cut. I call it buzz or brush cut. That means that I use 1/16 guard and shave the hair down low. You know, like how a man has a shadow on his face? It was about that much longer. And I wore that for a while. And the reason why I wore it, because I was like, look, I'm going to have to learn to like me. Now imagine being a mochalicious sister back then. You shaved your head. That is a no-no. That is a no-no. You can't be dark and have no hair. That's just not attractive. Or if it is, you know, people question your sexual orientation. And that's, you know, that was just back then. Understand, this was 17 plus years ago. So after that, I was growing my hair out and I was like, I need to find something. I went the traditional lock route, but that changed. You know how the hair starts to look kind of fuzzy and poofy, and you keep twisting, and then the hair want to break because you're trying to over groom it. And it took 4 years, because I was reading a lot of natural hair care books, for me to say, okay, I'll do sister locks, but it was expensive. You know, back then it was it $400? And it was like, oh, you're going to spend this money, and oh, but then I was like, I have to like me. I have to own my beauty. I just felt my beauty was attached to the hair I was buying in the store. And I did not like that feeling. Either it was in the store, it was attached to a braid pack, or it was attached to a relaxer. And I used to think, okay, so if somebody caught me, because at one point I couldn't leave the house when I would take the extensions or the braids out. And I'm like, this is a sickness. So I figured if I just shaved the head, you ain't had no hair, then you can't glue anything in it. You can't attach anything in it. What am I going to do? Glue it to my scalp? That just wasn't in. So I didn't, you know, so that's why I gravitated to sister locks. But in the beginning when I got it, people thought, why you have all them tiny micros and no extensions attached to it? I felt funny because it looks picky. You look like a plucked chicken in the beginning. And so I figured I'd rather pay my dues and quote unquote look a hot mess to look beautiful or stunning later on. Now with YouTube and blogs and vlogs, you know, people understand this stage is kind of strange, but you have so many pictures of women who before and after over the years, people still plunge into getting it done. But the reason why I got it was because I had to learn to like me, and I needed a system that endorsed being me. That's basically it. As I say, you know, I had to own my own beauty. That's what triggered it for me.
Wow. I mean, I think we all can relate to the story that you told, and the reason why you got sister locks, because I think we all kind of feel that way. I remember that I had that same experience of hiding my hair to go buy hair.
Yep.
And it's sad. It's sad because it's like the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, girl, you touched me. We got people in the live saying trust your beauty. Do you want to talk about how you started that? I want to know that, and then also about your hair care routine. And do you use Sister Locks products?
I'm gonna be honest. I use that, and I use other things. It's what I have on hand. I'm a consultant now, and I'm required to stock it, so I have a lot of it on hand. I'm just being honest. But the products, you gotta play. When I say you have to play, meaning that they work, but everybody's different. When you use the products, you really have to rinse your hair really, really clean. You have to wait to be at certain stages before you use certain types or certain products within the line. So, you know, some people complain about the products a little bit, but it's like, okay, the starter shampoo, you're past that stage. I don't use that. I switch between green tea, salon formula. I use the moisture treatment. I use some other things too. And when I say some other things, that's towards the ends, the very, very ends. When your hair is very long, it will, when I tell you it'll eat a bottle of shampoo like it's nothing. You said my hair care routine. When I'm good, okay, I'm being honest, because when I started working around the clock, I really slacked off a lot. My hair thrives. Like in the winter, it's more sparse now. I struggle more in the winter because I like to keep the place warm. So my hair gets very, very dry. I wash, like I said, when I'm good, I will wash like once a week every 10 days. When I'm bad, the weeks can stretch out to like 4 weeks. So that's like once a month. That's not good hair hygiene for me, but it can stretch out for that long. I use, what is it? I use rose water. People are very funny about the rose water. Rose water, it's just like you're misting your hair with, water. People, they're like, oh, I use rose water. It can make your hair dry in the winter, and then in the summer, it can replenish moisture, but then you need to seal it in. So if you spritz it with water, then I'd use the moisture treatment over it to kind of like seal it. So it depends on the season.
Okay, so a few more questions that I have for you is one, have you ever did an ACV rinse?
Listen, people with this ABC rinse. So many people come to me, and the first thing I tell them is stay off of YouTube, because everything is, this does not, okay. The last time I used okay, what's the proper term? Don't say it. It's the apple cider vinegar rinse, right? See that thing? Okay. I tried that in the beginning stages of my sister locks. Why did I try it? Because I was having dandruff and scalp issues. What I learned is when you use that, it changes the acid mantle of your scalp. Now, people say it removes debris, it removes buildup and all that stuff. Okay, yeah, but that's not the type of locks you have. We have interlock locks. Think of like a English muffin. Your hair has nooks and crannies in it. It is not palm rolled. When you palm roll, the hair forms a tube. And the tube, what happens is the product that you use in the hair migrates into the center of the lock. This is traditional locks. So then you'll have a tube of product or debris or stuff that gets embedded in your lock. We have little nooks and crannies like English muffin. So you may say you're putting the ABC rinse on it and it's taking off the residue. Well, residue is different than debris and just stuff and gunk in your hair. The way not to get gunk in your hair is the type of products you use. It's the type of products you use and the type of clothing you wear. Certain products you put in your hair attract certain things out the air. I don't know. I saw your picture leave. Are you still there? Certain things you attract from out the air attaches to the product. Okay? So if you're using products that are not formulated for your hair being interlocked and having nooks and crannies, I'm now hearing you. Having nooks and crannies, if the product is not formulated from that, it's not going to wash from your hair clean, and it'll attach stuff from the air and clothing. Sister locks, a lot of people get debris like in the back area right here. All up in here is just gunky. That's from product, and that's from the hair rubbing against the clothes. ABC does not take that out. You have to physically remove that with your hand or use products that do not gunk up your hair or attract dirt and lint. So
okay. Wow.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Because that ABC got me in trouble. Because the way how I was taught, it was a lot of research. You get the ABC. When you get it, you have it in a basin. So it's your last rinse. Some people put it in a jar and spray it. Some people put it in a rinse. So what I used to do was put it in a rinse. And when I put it on as a rinse, I would throw it in my hair, and it was supposed to pass through my scalp because I said it changes the acid mantle of the scalp. Put it through my scalp and then catch it in the basin and then pour it again. And I was to leave it. This is where this stuff gets funny. So one day I was going somewhere, and it was winter, and I had on a hat. And I'm sitting there. This is before Sister Locks. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what is that smell? What is smelling so rank and sour? Who do you think was smelling? It was me. It was my scalp. I was sweating underneath that hat, and I kept smelling this vinegary smell. It stinks. So that was my last time dealing with AVC. I don't like the smell. It just smells horrible. I don't care how much herbs you soak in it or whatever, it stinks. So, you know, I don't care what you put to soak in it, it stinks. Yes, but whoever want to use that, go ahead. Do your thing. Because everybody has, you know, they have their system. So you asked me what I think about that.
So, someone asked, have you had any locks break off? Any
Heck
breakage or
yeah.
fall out?
Heck yeah. I've been locked almost 17 years. I have lost locks. I've had locks cut off. I've had locks popped off. I've had locks thin out and break. People think that just because they get their hair locked that, oh, it's just going to grow. It depends on what your body's doing. It depends on what you're eating. It depends on the temperature of the room, the climate, the season. All these things affect your hair. If you don't lock your hair, if you don't retighten your hair on time, I remember there's times like I'd self-retighten. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna self-retighten. I'm gonna hit this section, then I'm gonna hit this section the next day, and I'm gonna hit this section. So let's say I got 3 parts of it, right? Because there's 5 sections. Then I just did 3 parts. 4 weeks went by. I still didn't touch this side. All right, so then I go to start again. I'm like, oh, well, let me just start on this section again. So then I had a part in the middle of my hair where the hair just grew out and it just clumped together. So, you know, and the hair starts to break off. I've put like sample locks in people's hair. And let's say they say, okay, I'm planning. And they came back a year later. I got to cut it off or it breaks off because the hair starts to shear off. SisterLocks is like a lock relaxer. Your locks are now straight. So then it's a whole bunch of strands of hair that form a super strand. So that's your straight strand, just one strand. So now your hair, it has a relaxed look in the sense that the hair is straight and flowing. SisterLocks is a natural hair care system, but make no mistake, it is not natural to our hair. You will become enslaved to SisterLocks like your relaxer. Because if you don't get your hair retightened between every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, depends, because some people have mega slow growth of new growth. If you don't retighten, the hair will break at the demarcation line, just like a relaxer. So, you know, people ask, okay, well, no, all my stories is not peaches and cream. You run into issues. Something happens in your diet. Sometimes you put products in your hair and you have an allergic reaction. You over there scratching. Why my head scratching like this? You trying to scratch the product out of your scalp or whatever you're allergic to, and then you realize the hair is thinning. Then it's hanging on a string. You got to cut it or it pops off. Yes, I have.
Will you ever do videos again on YouTube?
Yes, my goat. See, you all put me. All right. Yes. I'm just saying yes. This one person. She kind of called and yelled at me. She was like, "Girl, where have you been? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm coming. When the year turns over, I'm coming." Yes. Around the first week of April. First week. See, you all are holding me down to it. Look for me the second week of April. Okay. I had to clear up my work schedule in order to get back on point. A lot of people were upset with me when I was like, I can't do your hair anymore, or I'll refer you to someone else, or because I had to shift the schedule around. Sounds kind of, and some people made adjustments. Some people, because I have out-of-towners, some people made adjustments, and some people, they couldn't because of work, and so they were referred out.
My lock said, that was me. I text you a few times.
Yep, when she saw your advertisement, she was like, "Oh, I'm glad you're coming back." Yes, I'm coming back. I missed you guys. I don't know, doing hair, doing SisterLocks, and I didn't start off doing SisterLocks. I started doing YouTube. You asked me earlier how I started my channel, right?
Yes.
That was never there was a lot I learned in this year and a half break. I had to get more of a business mind because I had to toughen up some. When you start getting clients and dealing with different personalities, people don't understand that. See, I'm digressing, but I'm gonna swing it back around. You asked me how I started my channel. My channel ended up being a hair channel. That was not what it was for. It was for practice, to learn how to speak in front of people and not to have paralysis by analysis, meaning that everything has to be perfect. If you look at my earlier videos, they're a hot mess. The lighting's no good. My hair didn't look that grand, but I was just using it for practice. It was like, I think after 3 or 4 years, is it 3 years, that I went to go take the class. And it was just to practice speaking and not to be so perfect about everything. But I did want to own my own business. I just wasn't sure yet exactly. I like personal development. My business was to go more in that direction. And I had 2 channels. And I was buying this training. I was part of this company. It was Empower Network at the time. They have, they're no longer in business. Look at that. But anyway, I bought trainings and stuff, and they was like, this is how you start a YouTube channel. Go on YouTube, do XYZ, and start doing some of the challenges. So that's how I ended up on YouTube. Because originally, YouTube, I used to think, yes, I had my ignorant thoughts. These people don't have nothing else better to do. Why they want to put themselves on YouTube? That was just my mentality back then. And then it was post your videos on Facebook, and I'm like, but then people are gonna see me. They're gonna, you ducking, like people are gonna see me. They're gonna know. But you have to take a risk. Everything is a risk. Just like getting Sister Locks is a risk. Not everybody was on board with it. Not everybody's gonna be on board with it. Like I've said earlier, you have your vision. Not everybody shares your vision, but the vision is not for them. So I took a risk. I put up the channel. Then when I had a meeting with the group, which was part of the business, they were like, okay, one of my dear friends, she kind of like threw me under the bus with the channel. She was like, oh, well, she has a secret YouTube channel over here. And they were like, okay, well, how many subscribers you have? And at the time, I think it was like 2,500 subscribers. And they were like, what? Well, you need to start doing more videos here and there. And I was like, okay. So that's really how I ended up here. I ended up in YouTube land.
Wow.
Now, trust your beauty. That came out of my slogan, because I think on 1 or 2 of my videos, I was asked, I gave my journey and why I chose Sister Locks. And it was basically the same story with the weaving and braiding. Weaving and braiding, it was like I wanted to own my own beauty. So during my journey, I had to trust what I have to work with. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't trust everything. When I say trust everything, I have more gray hairs than I did in the beginning, and that is okay. Maybe when I cut my hair super, super short later on and it's graying fully, that's fine, but my grays are not that attractive for me, okay? I'm saying for me, so I will color. We'll get to color later. I still cheat. I haven't colored in a while. I still use, the cover-ups, the little wands and stuff like that, or mascara on my hairline. I know that sounds funny, but for the grays, my thing is, okay, well, that's later. I'm not ready to be fully gray yet. Also, I still trust the integrity of my hair. I still trust what my hair does. I still trust its aesthetics. So when I say trust your beauty, you work with what you have and don't go too much in the opposite direction of what you have, and own it. Own it is admitting it, accepting it, embracing it. When I started to embrace my natural hair, that's when I fell in love with it. So that's how the trust your beauty came out, from the slogan, trust your beauty and own it. And then after doing the business for a while of getting my feet wet, then I structured it. Okay, it has to be a legal entity. Why? Because you don't want to be underground so much all the time. In the beginning, yeah, because you're trying to figure out what you're doing and if it's a viable or lucrative business. And then after a while, you're gonna want to have purchasing power. You're gonna want to have you want to do certain things under this business. So then that's when you start to make it legal. I don't know if I answered all your questions.
I believe so. Someone just asked, Casberg just asked, do you still have your website?
Yes, it's under construction. It should be up when I start making the videos. That's the end till the first, second week of April. Yep.
And we were talking earlier, just you and I, we were talking, and I had a few questions because I just completed the Sister Locks class this week on Wednesday. So just a couple of days ago. And I had a few questions for you about being a trainee, any advice you have. And I think we had somebody else ask that in the live. Can you just give those tips also with like advertising and things like that?
Okay, advertising. Okay, my clients are people who are me. They're kind of touchy-feely. They're kind of like energy prone. A lot of the clients that come will say, "Oh, I seen you and I liked your energy, so I chose you to do my hair." Some people are more, "Okay, I want you to be skilled. I don't care crap about energy." And then some people are like, "I want skill or energy." When you advertise, your advertisement is going to give away who you are. If you're kind of sharky, you will get sharky people. When I mean sharky people, sharks are just dead on. Well, technically, sharks are, they're very, what are my goods? What am I going to exchange? There's not anything about, oh, well, I didn't like the app. They don't care about atmosphere. They don't care about ambiance. They don't care about the aura or anything of a person. Is okay, she does my hair good. I get in, I get out. That's it. I always tell people you have to show more of who you are when you're advertising. You still need a website. How are you going to market to your website? You use social media. Putting ads in papers is long time dead and gone. So you have to build up rapport with people, and you're going to have to give away a lot of things in the beginning. For instance, you have your channel. You're giving away your free time. You're giving away your curiosity into SisterLocks. You're giving away interaction. So people are getting to know you. So later on, if you say, okay, well, I took the training and I'm going to do SisterLocks, people will say, well, hey, I'm willing, because I've had some people say, oh, I'm willing for myself to be your guinea pig, because, they're like your trainee, because I like you so much, or I like your energy, or I like who you are. I'm going to take that risk. So I tell people whenever they advertise, you have to advertise a lot on social media. You have to find your tribe.
Okay, so are you still going to do the trainings, the Trust Your Beauty coaching? Trust Your Beauty coaching?
Yes. All of that is underneath that. You'll see more of that in articles on my blog. When I start the channel again, you'll see my site. So you'll be able to contact me through my site. You should also see articles and other things that I will be offering through the website.
Okay, I have a few more Sister Lock questions for you.
Sure.
I'm 10 months in. Felicia is 10 months in, and she's asking, do you have any advice or words of encouragement for sisters that's 10 months in their Sister Lock journey? She said, I like it, but I'm not in love with it yet. I love mine, but she said she's not in love with hers yet.
Okay, ask her why she's not in love with it yet.
Now, girl, where you at, Felicia? Felicia, why you not in love with it yet? Because you can do some things with these 10-month Sister Locks.
SisterLocks is, you have to incorporate delayed gratification. You also have to incorporate your perspective. Your perspective has to change, and you are the only person that's in charge of your perspective. So understand that you're planting seeds, okay? And this is how the seeds behave in the beginning. And as your hair gets longer, the behavior will change. When you first get your hair done, you're going to look plucky, depending on the density of your hair. Some people have mad density. They're like, oh, I like this stage. They're cute. They spike up. Some people get their SisterLocks, and if their hair is short enough, the hair just droops because it's limp, depending on density. In the beginning, that's just what you have to go through, unless you spruce it up. You don't want to put too many clips. You don't want to fuss with it a lot. When you first get your SisterLocks, your hair just needs to be left alone. You have to use the starter shampoo. Yes, your hair's going to feel like crap because it's going to make the hair straw-like and kind of scratchy. That is the purpose of the starter shampoo. So you can get through the beginning stages faster so that you can have more freedom. So using the product, the starter shampoo, will help get the hair to lock faster. In the beginning, your hair's gonna look like braids or plaits until it gets to settle stage. You just gotta work with it. You gotta work with it. In the beginning, I wore a lot of head wraps, and also in the beginning, because now people wear wigs over it. That's another story. Some people wear wigs over it. I wore head wraps and I would curl it. Back then it was Caruso curlers. They were these curlers that you would push down, and they were the moist steam curlers. It just shows you how long ago this was. And it would curl the hair, and you leave it on for like a couple of seconds or till it dried, a couple of minutes until it dried, and then you pulled it off, and then you had a curl. You have to play with it. You have to fall in love with it. I'd rather pay the dues now to have stunning hair later. So look at it as, hey, I'm proud to wear my sister locks. I spent the time, I spent the money, I spent the research. This is for me. This is not like a weave or a relaxer. You walk into the store, the salon, you have massive hair. They slap some cream on you and you come out with straight hair. Or you come in with super short hair and you walk out with hair down to your derriere. It is not instant gratification. It's just not. That's part of the journey.
I think that's the best advice ever right there. Did you talk about, I heard you mention what color you use, but I think we had one more question about your hair. How you wash your hair, and what color do you use?
Okay. See this, I always say this is old hair at the top. These are the ends of my hair. I used to color my hair jet black. My hair is off black. The reason why I started coloring it jet black was because my hair turns brown, and it used to have this doodle brown dusty color. I didn't like it. So I would color it jet black. Then after a while, I was using Beijing. Beijing, even though they say it's natural, it's kind of harsh and drying. So I basically would color my hair on average once a year. Then as the years accumulated, the hair got lighter and lighter and lighter, and I just left it. I also used to groom the fuzz down. I think after year 6, I just left it alone. I'm like, the fuzziness adds to the softness of it. Right now, the hair is shellac because I tied it with a head tie. But if I was sweating, you'd see the fuzz pop up again. I had to learn to like it. I just had to learn to like it. The major things in this journey, you have to, you work with liking. I've been... what color would that be? Would that be like off black? I've been off black most of my life. Now I'm starting to get gray hairs, or I've had gray hairs. So it's like, I'm not ready for that yet. But I was naturally off black colored hair. I understand it changes through life, but that was something normal. The color that you put in your hair, this is just over the years it's turned. And when I cut it, you're not even going to see it anymore. I'm just going to have to, and I had to learn to like that, because doodoo brown, hear that? Doodoo brown. It's not attractive for me. It may work for other people, but for me. So, yes, the color. I used Beijing, and I have not colored my hair probably in about 3 years. Like I said, I do the little cheap stuff. You put your little, sometimes you use a little bit of mascara or something. I don't wear my hair down that often, so you don't see it in between, but it's around the edges. By tonight, when I sleep, it rubs off. So why? Because I didn't want to start coloring it religiously. Sometimes when people come to me with their hair color, the hair is like straw. It's tough. And I don't like that feeling. But I think I will be stepping into the arena of henna, and I'll share it with you on my channel.
Oh, on your channel. Wait a minute. What? So can you do a spin around so we can see your whole look? And how did you get this style?
It's on my video. What is it called? The Nefertiti, or what is it? The Nefertiti of Marge Simpson. I even have it on the who is it? I even have it on can you see?
Yes.
I even have it, there's a part here. I even have it on one of my Instagram pictures from way back in the day. This was my updo that I would do, like anytime I was going out, just wanted my hair up. I mean, it's gotten taller and longer as the years have gone by, but it's enough titty or Mark Simpson.
Is it heavy for you?
No, but it can get tight sometimes because as you start in the center, you just wrap the hair around, and then from the middle, you just keep going around till you hit the ends. And as you wrap it around, it can get tighter and tighter. So, but no, it's not heavy.
Okay. So what about night routine? What's your night care?
Just tie it up. I started tying my hair up after year six.
So you was bonnet free before?
Yeah, because I don't really like tying up my hair, but I've gotten accustomed to it now. You trying to
I'm laughing.
Your hair try to choke you. You be like, I'll be tying it up.
Okay. Let me see if I have any more. Oh, April Sheely, I think that's how you say her name. She said you should be the president of Sister Locks.
How sweet of you. That just sounds like a lot of work, but thank you. The president, that sounds like a lot of work. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any lint, and how do you get rid of lint?
Ooh, I used to, lint, my saving grace for lint was oil. If I slicked my hair down enough, not if I spritzed it lightly with oil. Understand, people, there's pros and cons to everything that you're using. And I always say this, and people's like, oh, Sister Locks is very picky. No, they have their rules, they have their system. Once you deviate from it, when your hair starts to behave in a way that you don't like, understand it's because you deviated from, quote unquote, the straight and narrow path that's set out for you. Okay. Oil had the tendency to not show the lint. Okay. And it had the tendency to slide things off. The downside to that is your locks do become gummy. So that was my remedy. Since I do Sister Locks now, and I've seen people who have used my method, and I've seen people who have used the straight and narrow Sister Lock method. And I've noticed that the people who've used the products from the beginning to the end, their hair is light and fluffy and clean because the products rinse through clearly. I know for myself that at the time, because Sister Locks products they've changed over the years. They've gotten a lot better. Because in the beginning, I'm be honest, stuff was very waxy. What I've noticed is that with my method, like my hair all the way down, you don't see it. You don't see the lint and stuff like that. But the hair, when I say it's gummy, if you were to sit down and break open the lock, it'll have a tackiness to it, as opposed to someone else. The lock will just, come out, unravel cleanly. So that's how I handle it.
Okay, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has joined the live so far. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to have PR Charles in the building tonight. She's such a sweetheart. I really enjoyed conversating with her. She gave me wise tips about how to start my business and just girl talk. I really love hearing her story. Everything about her is very interesting, and she can just talk for days for me. So I don't know, y'all here for this or what? If you have any more questions, please drop it down in the live chat so then we can keep asking questions to keep the night going. I do want to do a little trivia with you. If you could guess how she's been talking a little bit, she's been saying a few things, so I want to see if y'all have been maybe paying attention a little bit. How long has she had her locks? How long has she had her locks? And then I'm going to ask her a question that you have down in the comments. So make sure that you put down a number of how many years PR Child has had her sister locks. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel. Go check out her channel and subscribe if you have not, because she has a lot of wonderful information. Check out the Facebook group Sister Locker TV. That's where I'm going to be planning our meet and greets and different fun things that we're going to do. Maybe like weekend giveaways, all that fun stuff. And I'm also on IG, Sister Locker TV. So go ahead, go follow me. PR Charles, how long have you had your sister locks? Let's see if they got it right.
Okay.
How long have you had your sister locks?
Am I to answer that, or did they answer?
Yeah.
May will make 17 years.
Okay, everybody got their answer right there. And then just trying to have a little fun. Another question is, what length did she say she started her locks at? What length? Do you have any tips for someone asked this question? I know you probably touched a little bit on it, but someone is a trainee, and how do they get people to choose them as a trainee and not be biased because they're not a consultant? Any tips for that?
I'm gonna say use social media. Why don't you share your do you have sister locks? Why don't you share your journey?
Okay. And how many inches did you start your locks with?
4 to 5 inches.
Okay, everybody got that right. Now, do you use any essential oils?
Yeah. I haven't in a while, but I may put like lavender. If I'm quote unquote disinfecting my scalp, I have all kind of little things I do. I have had in my cupboard, my first aid oil is what's the name of that oil? I did a video on that. It's years ago. Oregano, P73 oregano oil. This is not something you put in your scalp like you're gonna go and fry. Say you go in and put a ton of grease in your hair or oil or anything like that. You can take about a dime or a quarter and I'll rub it on my scalp. Now that was when I was having scalp issues because I was suffering from seborrheic dermatitis, and it cleared that up due to washing frequently and to putting that on my scalp. That was my substitute for ketoconazole, and sometimes they give you antifungal creams and stuff when you have issues. So I tend to use that when I am deep conditioning or stimulating my scalp.
Okay, so one of the main questions is, could you please take down one lock so that we can see your length? Would you?
You know what? This is what I'm talking about with this sister locks. Everybody's studying the length and length and length and length and length. No, my hair is interwoven and intricate. If I pull down one, you're not going to get the full length anyway. My hair is my hair grows in a V. It's layered. So somebody's asking me to mess up my do to see the length of my hair. I'm gonna do a length check video before I cut it.
Will you?
That's all this is. But I understand. I'm going to say something that is not really comfortable in our community. We have been the ethnic group. You're over there laughing, but you know I can't see you, right? I just see the S. We are in a community that feels so deprived on the beauty end. And I'm not saying that to be funny. If you notice, each ethnicity has a specific look, okay? We're Black people. We have hair that grows up and out, okay? So it looks like a fro, or think of topiaries. It can be shaped. There's so many different things you can do with it. So that's our distinctive look, right? Or distinctive attribute of being Black. Okay, you have people who they're from a different ethnicity. They have different eyes or different bone structure or different hair or different color eyes, okay? So we're the group or the type whose hair grows up and out. So we look at everybody else whose hair grows down. So now we're compared to that. And then we're like, okay, when are we going to have long hair? That's why the weaves have gotten so much longer. We're following that. Yes, Black hair grows long, but it only grows long. I'm not going to say only. It's easiest for black hair to grow long when it clumps together. So yes, you can have locks. I grew up seeing locks sweep the floor. They weren't attractive, my perspective, because they were organic and clumped up, but our hair grows long. And yes, I'm not saying it to be mean. You will see my length check. You will see my length check videos, and there's not going to be too much because I'm going to keep my hair cut to a specific length. Technically, if I did not cut my hair should be dragging the floor. 17 years. By the time you hit 8 or 9 years, it's hitting your bum. 17 years is how many years is how many years past that? So it'll be double that. But
so no. You have trimmed your hair. How many times?
I was trimming my hair. I had 2-3 major cuts. When I say major cut, you cut like 5 to 8 inches off of it. And then like when I was making the videos, I think my first length check, the ends was all scraggly. Then I did another length. When I say length check, full length look. Then when I did my second full length, my hair was a little bit longer, but it was cut even. It was cut even. I always kept it cut even to my lower hip. Some people are like, well, what are lower hips? Think of your saddlebags. Where your saddlebags would be, I kept it cut to that length. And I trimmed it every 8 to 12 weeks. Why? Because every time you get your hair, every time you get your hair retightened, your hair is growing. If you don't trim your hair is just going to keep growing. We're not used to our hair seeing the length checks when our hair is loose and natural because we end up breaking it off before it accumulates length.
Okay, so someone wants to know, and we all want to know. So why are you cutting your hair one more time? And also, would you donate those locks or keep them? What you gonna do with them locks, girl?
Boy. Okay. I'm keeping my locks. Nowadays you can make compliments, you can donate, or you can keep. I'll keep it unless I decide to donate it. You asked me something before that. You said, why am I cutting it again? Or what did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
You say, why am I cutting it? Because as years, no, the longer your hair, the longer your hair gets, you get over it.
Mm.
If you grew your hair down to, so I said I hit my hair was at my behind at 9 months, 9 years. I'm at 17 years. Why am I tilting my head to the left? I don't know if you can see me. You get over it. You get over it after a while. After a while, it starts to become a hazard. I have clients who I put their hair in 3 years later. They're like, girl, I got to pin this hair up because it's hot in the summer. And I lost it due to a strap from my bag. And they're starting to realize that, the hair gets in the way. People who grow excessively or just naturally long hair easily, they don't always wear it down. If you look at certain ethnic groups who hair grow long and straight, they don't wear it super, super long. What do? They get it cut. They get over it. They get over it.
Okay. So, do you have any inspirational words of advice for like the sisterhood of Sister Locks or just Black women in general?
Just to trust your beauty and own it. And that goes far beyond your hair and your looks. It goes to the point of there's aspects of yourself that you will start to uncover. I know it was triggered by this journey and embracing my natural hair. And soon for me, I started embracing, hey, I have talents I'd like to explore or to expand. There's certain type of relationships I'd like to explore and expand. And when I say relationships, I'm referring to the people in your life that you know that it's not a fit for you anymore. You kind of usher them out to make room for the new you with the new friends. You understand? So trust your beauty is wherever you feel led or touched in your spirit or what resonates with you, to trust it, explore it, and own it.
Okay, so another question is, how do you maintain the ends after you cut it?
Well, once your hair is fully locked, depending on the hair texture that you have, when you cut your hair will bloom at the ends, meaning that they'll unravel a little and curl or have curly cues, depending on how large your curl pattern is. or not. It'll still bloom out a little bit. If you cut your hair really short, like 2-3 inches away, your hair will unravel all the way down to the end. It depends on the type of hair you have. Some people have hair that unravels easier than others, and some people, they just don't. So if you cut your hair and your hair is unraveling, you're going to have to start over with the starter shampoo. That's fun. And banding.
So look, Marsha Johnson made 2 comments. She said, I do admire PR Charles. She was among the first lock YouTubers I followed before I had Sister Locks installed. Love the way she styles her hair, so elegant. And then she asks, what does PR stands for, and why do you call yourself by your initials?
Okay, my name is Fentress. PHENTRESSE. People are intimidated when they see the spelling. My middle name is Raquel, and my last name is Charles. When I first started this, people know me as Fenny or Fen, either or. And when I started this channel, I did not want anybody to identify me. So I was like, just stick to your initials because they won't struggle or botch up your first name. And so it's my first and middle initial, and then my last name, because my name is very distinct. So I would go to work. People didn't know I had a YouTube channel until one day somebody stumbled on it and was like, girl, I swear you didn't tell me you had a... So that was how I kind of kept my privacy, kept a little privacy to myself. I called myself by the initials.
Okay.
So refer to me as, hey P, how are you? That works.
My daughter, so it's funny because my daughter's middle name, my youngest daughter's middle name is Raquel. So that's, another connection. Girl, you don't know how good it feels to have you here. I think everyone is excited about you being here. You could be talking about rainbows and Skittles, and I'll be just still right here. So, like, you're so elegant, you're so poised, and you're just so wise. And I just hope that you know that, you're welcome. I hope you know that we all appreciate you on a different level. Because when I told her, I'm like, girl, you a legend. You're a Sister Lock legend. She was like, what? What?
Yeah. I don't hang out on YouTube like that. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It encourages me. It encourages me when, I get the feedback. And when my channel goes up again, I'm expecting the feedback because it helps with the inspiration and putting out certain things. Within reason, mind you, within reason. I won't be doing length checks every month. That's not going to happen. But I'll give a length check and haircut check and all that type of stuff. Color check, I'll do that.
Okay, so do you have anything else you want to say? And then I'll ask final questions, and I'll let you, go ahead and relax with your beautiful self.
No, when I said trust your beauty in that aspect, I can say I have no regrets. I'll tell you what I've learned over the years with my hair that I can share is that after you realize you can grow hair, you start to realize that when I say grow hair, styling and length, once you get over that, you start to realize sometimes you may go through a neglectful stage of, okay, yeah, it's just hair, I just pin it up, I don't do much with it. In the beginning, you may style the mess out of it because you're playing with it. It's new length. And then after a while, it dies down. It's like, okay, it's just hair. But I realized that just because you're not playing with it with length and stuff, you still have to take care of it. Your hair can still show how much you care about yourself to a certain extent. Some people have sister locks and their hair look very raggedy. I have gone through raggedy stages at times. And I've just come to learn that it's part of grooming and taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. Since this is a natural system, but it's not a natural system in the sense that we don't wake up and our hair stays like this forever. We still have to maintain it.
Okay, so again, I want to thank everyone for coming on the live tonight. I'm not going to keep her because she said definitely a mouthful and much, much more. Like, you don't understand that the words that you say are like keystones to the foundation of everything. I
I'm
really
enjoying
do
myself.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank
because
you
you've been
for
in the,
inviting
you've
me.
been, oh, wait, what? Look, hold on, let me be quiet.
I said, thank you for inviting me. I had fun. I really needed this because it kind of like woke me back up. Like, oh yeah, this feels good. You know, talking and sharing. So thank you for inviting me. I had a blast, and I enjoy your company tremendously.
Okay, so we got at April saying, can you do weekly videos or every 10 days?
Oh, she is so sweet. She said every 10 days. She's giving me a little grace period or leeway. Yes.
Oh,
I had to clear the weekend. So now I have to be more strategic. Now I have to plan ahead, and now I have to basically do an assembly line of videos so I can keep it coming and not be overwhelmed. So when I took the hiatus, I realized there's a system. You got to figure out your system in this. So yes, that's doable.
wow. I'm excited. I can't wait to see this.
All the
Again, I
videos is not going to always be on here though, but it's very doable. It'll either relate to hair, it'll relate to health, it will relate to I will be doing thoughtful Thursdays, just sharing. That's where I enjoy my channel. You have a channel, you have to enjoy it as well. So it's a little bit of both.
wow. I mean, I feel like every time you say something, it's a gem. Like, it's like you gotta stop everything and listen. So I really thank you for accepting my invite and answering the phone for me and just being a part of this. Everyone had a wonderful time. I could tell from the live stream that everyone's having a good time and enjoying your graceful presence here today. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to get to know you more as well. Because I'm definitely going to call you again. Like, girl,
You
I
have
just
my
need to,
number.
yes.
You have my number.
So, thank you everyone for joining the live. I hope I answered all your questions. If I didn't, I really do apologize. I did try to answer all the questions. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks again. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, wait, hold on. Subscribe here. Go to the Facebook of Sister Locker TV and check out the exclusive Facebook group. And also go to IG and PR. Do you want to tell them where to find you?
They can find me on YouTube at PR Charles. Instagram is PR Charles. And in the future, when I say the end of the month, it is trustyourbeauty.com.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.